Und da bin ich. Danke vielmals. Jetzt gehen wir weiter. Das ist ein leidenschaftlicher Mann, der diese Bühne betritt. Mit Leidenschaft bei der Arbeit, aber auch mit Blick für Innovation, Digitalisierung und Technologien. Es ist diese Leidenschaft, die es ihm ermöglicht hat, die Marke Tommy Hilfiger, deren CEO er 23 Jahre lang war, zum Erfolg zu führen. Und mit der gleichen Energie wird er bald eine neue Position haben, und diese Position ist CEO von Hugo Boss. Heute, wir haben das Glück, dass er mit uns ist. Bitte begrüßen Sie der designierte CEO von Hugo Boss, Herr Daniel Grieder.
Because you're mine. I walk the line because you're mine.
Welcome, Daniel.
Hello, everybody.
And so now you're looking at us and you're like, what are they speaking in English? Well, because maybe when you are the CEO of an American brand for 23 years, you get all these words, this business language in English, and maybe because on my side, it's going to help me to have an interview that is smoother with you. So we're going to switch to English.
Well, let's put be honest. My French is not good enough to give a good interview in French, and your German is perfect.
Yes, no, but that's not how it goes. But that's really nice that we can do this interview in English. So first question, you've worked for 23 years, CEO of an international brand. We can imagine that you've had a lot of work, and you're going to start a new position in June next year, 2021.
Right.
So what do you do in between?
That's a good question. I don't know yet. No, so first of all, a little bit correction. I was not 23 years CEO. I started as an agent, and then after 5 years, Tommy asked me if I want to come to Amsterdam, and because we just launched the setup in Europe 23 years ago for Tommy, I was an agent, and then I became the COO of Europe, and then the CEO of Europe, and then the CEO 8 years ago of the Global. So that was the stage. 23 years, yes. I'm 59 years, and I thought, and was always like this, I like challenges. I like to change when I feel I need to change. And the world is changing, everything is changing, the industry is changing, and I thought in the final round, I'm actually ready to also take a new challenge. And Hugo Boss has a huge potential, and I hope I'm able to build Boss to the next level. And this is for me, I'm really looking forward, and a big challenge. I know there's a lot to do, but let's see. And one thing I realized when I looked around yesterday and today, I'm actually very positive because I see so many men still wearing tailored. I thought after the pandemic, nobody wears tailored, only comfort wear, but I have big hope, and I hope next year everybody has a Hugo Boss tailored dress.
We'll have to come back and we'll check that out. You know, we can make them vote, and we can see how many will decide for that.
Okay.
You'll talk with them afterwards, okay? So what you're saying is that in this period that you have, and it's pretty rare in a career that you have a moment maybe for yourself, maybe for your family, you are actually already getting ready for this new position because you are a man, tell me if I'm wrong, but you don't stay very much often in the couch and do nothing, right?
Yes. In the beginning, I was a bit shocked because the contractual obligation is that I have to wait 12 months until I can start. And in the beginning, I was really panicking. On the other hand, actually, I was dreaming the whole life to have a sabbatical. And the thing is, okay, a 6 month sabbatical would be more than enough for me.
Okay.
But the circumstances is that it is a 12 months. So you ask me what I have, what do you do? And I have to say, it's the first 3 months I spent already. I had time which I did not before. I have 2 sons, and I never spent so much time with them. And it's also nice I can support them because one is launching his own company. The other one is also running something new. He's going to study in New York, and I can help him and support them. And I have never been able to take so much time to do that. So this was a wonderful moment, and at the same time, I have a bit more time for friends. I have a bit more time for think about myself, to do sport. So I'm enjoying it until now, and I'm not at all bored.
Okay, that's good. That's a good point. And then at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you would have started right away, it would have meant that you actually would have started right in the middle of a pandemic, which would have been a huge challenge as a new boss to come and start with a brand in the middle of a situation that we have never dealt before with.
Well, I went through 4 crises in my life, and since I'm in business, and to be honest, I was in Tommy still. The beginning, the first 3 months, I went through the crisis, and that's, as I said, I like challenges, and it gives you also a chance. Nothing is always bad. You think about the business; it goes down on the brick and mortar store because you had to close the store. But on the other hand, the online business was booming, and I think that gives other new opportunity, even in a crisis. And so far, with Tommy, I went through 4 crises, and actually on every crisis we came out even stronger. And I think that's only with the right mindset you get there. And I hope I will be able to do the same in the same trick. It cannot be the same, but the similar trick in Hugo Boss.
Well, let's talk about that. So you're going to start in a few months at this new position. What do you want to implement right from the beginning, even though that we know that you can't and you must not say much about your strategy, but what do you want to implement with Hugo Boss?
Well, first of all, I have to analyze what's there. But there's, I'm not a believer into copy-paste. You cannot copy-paste what we have done in Tommy, we can do in Hugo Boss. That would be, then I would fail. Also in Tommy, actually, I went always, when something was working after 2-3 years, we changed, because nothing is worse than to continue, it's working, and then it gets less. We always stopped when it was the best. It's kind of like a party. You should stop a party when it is the
best.
And
go home.
On the other hand, there is always 3 principles I put in place, and I think I can take in place, and it's kind of logical because every brand needs to do that. Number 1 is you need to be consumer-centric. Consumer has to be in the middle, right? We started that already 6 years ago. And I think this is also going forward, is the same principle. The second thing is product is king. So I think every brand, it doesn't matter if it's in the car industry, in the fashion industry, in any industry, the product needs to be good. It needs to be the product with the right price value. So that is essentially my point of view. And the third one is adapt to change. And when I put that vision into Tommy, I put that, adapt to change. They ask me, what does that mean? And it means that the right mindset at the right moment, what's happening in the world. So we went through the digitalization. We were one of the earliest fashion company that put digitalization in place. And in the beginning, nobody believed in it, but you have to get the right mindset. And I think if you always have that mindset, adapt to change, whatever crisis is coming, you're ready. So that's 3 principles that I think that's not a copy-paste, that everybody has to think more or less in that way. And then the last thing is I hope I can bring a lot of experience with me to Hugo Boss. But that doesn't mean copy-paste.
You're talking a lot about mindset, and we know that this is centered. This is one of the key. Do you think this comes also from your entrepreneur way of thinking, since at the beginning you founded 2 small enterprises and then you worked on different levels and you've experienced a bit of everything, So does it give you another vision, another way of feeling things?
Yeah. Well, I believe that I was an entrepreneur, and my belief and my thinking was always like an entrepreneurial. Even if you work in a corporate company, I think that makes it happen. And I remember Tommy, and it reminds me on the presentation we heard this morning from Bear, where his 3F, the first one is fail. Tommy Hilfiger himself, he actually went bankrupt in the beginning. And through that failure, he said, that was my best study I ever did in my life. And so I was an entrepreneur. At my time, I failed many times, but I did more things good than bad, so I always survived. And I think also going forward, you have to have a belief into what you do, and you will fail and you make mistakes. So you just have to continue in believing what you're doing. So entrepreneurship is for me crucial for being successful, because the corporate thinking where nobody wants to make mistake and even not doing anything, I think the worst is when you do nothing. That's the biggest mistake. And sometimes you have to take risk, and I always say the biggest risk is to take no risk. So
I have that quote from you here written.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not surprised. But the key question, and we've talked about that as well with many of the different persons who were on the stage during these 2 days, is how do you do to not be afraid and to just go for it, because you're not a magician. You don't read in the cards. You don't know what's going to happen. So what do you follow? Do you follow your gut? Do you follow your intuition?
A bit both. You have to study something. I remember when we went into the digitalization, the digital showroom, nobody was believing. And for me, it was kind of logical, because I saw the young generation, that was 7 years ago, they started to go online and buy everything online. And I was convinced that this young generation are, in our industry, the buyers, for example, of a store. And they don't want to be like I learned it, be on the floor and make assortments. They want to do that also digital. Mm-hmm. So I was so convinced that this is the right step. But everybody, even first in the company, they say, Daniel, that will not happen. This will not be right. And then I did some interviews, first with our customers, and they said, Daniel, we have to touch it. It's not going to work. And I continue to be kind of, get the team behind it and being kind of a messias, telling everybody this is the future. And I think today, together with the team, we build it into one of the biggest revolution in the fashion industry, that you don't have anymore these showrooms that thousands of pieces are hanging. It's all digital.
It's the digital showrooms that you created.
Digital showroom.
Yeah.
It's faster. You get better orders. It's more sustainable. It's more cost effective. And after that comes the digital design. And we also implemented the digital design, which is logic. And thanks God, even now through the crisis, it helped Tommy Hilfiger a lot, that we were already geared up for that already 4 years ago, without knowing that there is a pandemic.
But I think you are a believer that actually you have to put all that together. It's not only digital or it's not only physical. You have to make an ecosystem work, right?
Yes. And you said it, I forgot to mention that also, that you need to believe in something. And then you need a strong team behind you that you have to convince and that have to implement that together with you. But it's between like believing, gut feeling, but also studying the facts. Mm-hmm. And today it's all about data. So also fashion is about data. You have to study the data all over. And where did I learn to study all the data? It's very simple. When you look in the Formula One industry, I learned that, and that's why we made that corporation in Tommy, I learned that the Formula One, they have so many data. They study the data for the race. They study the data for the next race. They study the data for the different races. It's all data-driven. Nothing is just made...
It doesn't just happen like that.
No, it just happened. It's all data-driven. And I thought, if we bring that data into the fashion industry, we're going to know our end consumer much better than today, because everybody thinks, the fashion industry, it's all about fun and, a bit fashion shows and a bit this and a bit that. But actually, it's a pure data-driven business, because it's all about the end consumer.
So let me ask you a question. What is your vision for the future of the fashion industry? What does the customer want for the next years?
Sorry, what?
What does the customers want for the next years? What is your vision? What do you think, in what direction the fashion industry will evolve?
Well,
according to you.
I don't know all the data, but I would know one thing. After the pandemic, everybody is actually looking forward to be more comfort dressed. So everybody would like to have, for example, a dress or a suit. But why does it have to be uncomfortable? Why can we not make it breathable? Why can we not can make it wrinkle-free? Why can we not make it light? Why can we not make it water improvement? And all this, I believe, we continue to wear suits, but a suit will be able that you can wear even at home, and it's comfortable, it looks good. You can even go outside, you can even go hiking, you can even go fishing, you can go do everything and you still look good.
Having a suit to go to sleep, does that exist?
Well, I suggest you change it before you go to sleep.
So what it means also is one of the important trends is personalization, finding something for everybody. But isn't it complicated at the end? Because where does it end?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is a very important point you said. It's all about supply chain in the future. And that's a big challenge for all of us. Because in the past, you just could say, OK, let's produce 2 million polos and do some sweaters. But the personalization is coming really, it's kind of happening now. So you have to produce or need to be able to produce single pieces or with your details or with whatever you like. So this is a big challenge for supply chain. So in looking forward, I believe that we have a supply chain by region. So you produce in Europe for Europe, you produce for Asia, and for US for US. But ever the industry is changing. Think about it, there's also 3D printing coming in our area. So can you imagine that you design your clothes in the evening, and then you basically tomorrow you can print it in one of the Tommy Hilfiger or Hugo Boss stores, and even in the future,
23 years,
and even in the future, you're going to have that printer at your home. So you design in the evening and you print what you're going to wear during the day. Believe me, this sounds completely crazy, but it's going to be soon the future.
Well, you know what? We believe you. From what you said before, we believe you. We have information now.
And by the way, the pandemic came. It's also something positive about that. Everything that happened now, think about the schools suddenly is from home, digital, home office. All that would have happened anyway. But not now, it would have happened maybe in 5 years.
It would have taken more time.
So it just accelerated the speed of what happened.
So you really believe this is going to go this way and keeps on evolving this way and we won't go back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
you have to leverage, you have to find the right balance. It cannot only be at home. I'm so happy, by the way, that this is the first event in Switzerland where some people come together, and I'm really honored to be here, but I'm also very surprised, and I think it's amazing how the organization was able, with all the restrictions, to put that all together, and it's kind of a relaxed event. I feel very comfortable.
Well, that's good. We're happy to know that. And it means that in every hard moment, we can find solutions. And I think this is really what we've kind to show during these 2 days, that in the hard moments, you find solutions you would have never thought about.
Exactly. School from home, who thought about that?
Exactly. We have 1 more minute, so I have a last question, and it's a huge subject, and I know we can't answer everything right now because it would have taken too much time, but they are very sensitive subjects in the fashion industry, like sustainability and like the work of children, for example. Very hard to find the right solutions. What are the solutions you foresee to kind of move on?
I think it's not difficult to find solutions, because we have to find solutions, especially all the big corporations. We own the world that, there is no children involved in any of this business. We have to get more sustainable, on cotton, making sustainable cotton, but also we should do it anyway, not do it and then go to the talk about it. We own that to the world. And I just want to say 2 things, that there's different business model, because today you can rent already a suit. This is a new business model, which people always say, yeah, but you sell less. I said, no, it's changing, and we're going to rent suits, we're going to rent dresses for the evening. But also recycling is a big thing, because today everything we are wearing we throw away. So we create too much weight, but in the future we can recycle it. And I'm so happy, because sometimes in the fashion industry it's easy to have too much merchandise in the logistics. And actually everything you have there in the future you can recycle, so you never have an overstock.
Well, let's hope that we can go in this direction, but it's true that we hear a lot of things from big firms in the fashion industry, but we don't see much action.
Well, there's more action in the back, and I think the big corporations, I know they work together. There's a lot of commitment from everybody, but I think it's fine that you don't always every time talk about it. We do it, and I know it. I have seen it, and the big corporation, they come all together because they know they have to do it. We own that to the world.
And also because the clients ask for it.
Exactly.
And they know where to get the information, and they make their researches, and if they don't
Everything
like what they
will be
see...
more transparent, or needs to be transparent, which makes a better world.
Well, thank you very much. This is already over. It goes so fast. Maybe it's because of English, I don't know.
It's really fast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Grieder.